Welcome back to MMP and to another solo review of So I Watched. Today we're going to be talking about probably my most anticipated film of 2023, which is, of course, Cocaine Bear. Pushback, supposed to come out last year. We talked about it in over a year ago in a video talking about movies we're excited for 2022. Unfortunately, it got pushed back to 2023, but it was all worth it at the end of it, I think. So let's be honest here, all right? I'm not even going to try to lie about it. It's a movie called Cocaine Bear. It's what you expect it to be. You know, if you're going in there expecting it to be, a good movie, that's on you. You're going to be let down. But if you go in there expecting it to be an R-rated, about an hour and a half movie, I want to say it is. So it's a short R-rated movie. You know what you're going to get. And, if you go in with that mindset, it actually was pretty decent, I thought, for, everything considered. It was actually pretty decent. The story, if you've seen the trailer or anything, you know exactly what it is. A smuggler dropped a bunch of cocaine into a forest. Bear got into forest. Lots of stuff, continues from there. It's not like there's any big twists or a whole lot of deep meaning stuff happening in this movie. So from a storyline, I mean, it was pretty interesting for the whole time. Like I said, it's about an hour and a half, so it's a shorter movie, which definitely helps with this kind of movie to just a stupid, mindless movie. It just needs to be short. It's not like the storyline is anything special. Acting wise, I was actually kind of surprised by the acting in this movie. I felt like it was pretty good for the most part. I mean, there really wasn't any like glaring issues to me personally, which I was kind of surprised about. It's not like there's any huge like stars in this movie. But also at the same time, it's not like anyone kind of carries this movie in terms of like dominating screen time, because it's kind of about a mix of like 4 to 5-ish, I want to say, kind of different storylines of like different people that this movie like follows at different points. So nobody really was dominating it. Probably the person I would guess had the most screen time would have been O'Shea Jackson Jr. He probably had the most screen time, I want to say, along with Alden Ehrenreich, I believe. Those two kind of probably had the most screen time. But other than that, there was like Ray Liotta. I believe this is his final film he'll ever be in. Unfortunately, he passed away, I want to say 2022. I don't think he had anything filmed before he passed away, so this is probably, I would guess, his last movie that he's in, unless he had something else he was already filming. Which, if you don't know who he is, he's a pretty iconic actor. I would say mainly from Goodfellas, obviously, is a huge movie. A lot older at this point, but a little rough that he went out on this movie. Like I said, it's not like his acting performance was terrible. It's just an actor of his caliber who did a lot of good, serious work for his, as far as I know, his final film, being Cocaine Bear. A little tough, but can't always get the perfect ending. So he was in this movie for some time. I mean, like I said, nobody really dominated the screen time. Keri Russell, I believe is her name. She was in this one. Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family, he was in this. And I mean, like I said, there's some other people that I don't really know as much. Actually, there was 2 kids in this that I was surprised for. We're a channel. We're quite outspoken. Not a big fan of child actors. Most of the time, they kind of just kill movies or TV shows. They just aren't very good. It just takes you out. The 2 kids in this one, I thought were actually pretty good actors. I really wasn't like taken out of this movie too much because of them. And honestly, I wouldn't even have been upset if they got more screen time, because, like I said, it kind of switched around between these 4 or 5 different storylines. So you didn't get too much time with each character as it kind of went on until, you had some stories mix over and they would meet for a little bit. But yeah, I would not have been upset if we got a little bit more screen time with those kids, because I thought they were doing a good job, and they probably were the funniest part of this movie. And then, of course, the big star of the show, the Cocaine Bear herself. Spoiler, it is a she. She killed her role. Unfortunately, I don't think they were able to get any actual bears for this role. so they had to CGI it. I think a lot of bears just didn't want to take the chances of, using fake cocaine and looking bad, or using real cocaine, having to go to like AA and rehab and stuff, that kind of thing, or not AA, but just rehab. So had to CGI the bear. All things considered, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible CGI for a movie that is a 90-minute movie that is, now no one's expecting to be good. I didn't think it was terrible. Obviously, did it look phenomenal? No, not at all. But when she was on the screen, it didn't look too bad. And it's kind of interesting. In the beginning, they kind of made her like I don't want to say it was like a slasher type vibe, but in a sense it was like it. She was kind of like, they were kind of hiding her a little bit about like people were getting attacked, or like, somebody would get attacked, you wouldn't really see, the bear too much from the angle of it, and like stuff like that. So that was kind of interesting. They kind of had the music in the background was kind of almost trying to make it like a scary movie slasher type feel, which, I thought was kind of interesting. Overall, the real thing here, it's an R-rated film. How ridiculous are any killing scenes? To be honest, I thought that was probably the biggest letdown, I guess you could say, of this movie. That like when there was, a killing, which I don't, honestly, off the top of my head, I don't think it wasn't like a super crazy amount. They weren't super over the top, which I feel like in a movie like this, you kind of expect like it to be some over the top stuff going on in this movie. I mean, it's Cocaine Bear. I'm gonna say that so many times, but it's a movie called Cocaine Bear. Like, you would just expect there's gonna be some stupid, like, just wild deaths. There really wasn't. They're all relatively, kind of what you would expect, I guess. There's maybe a couple that were kind of a little over the top-ish, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, if you're going into this movie and you're just going in thinking this is a stupid movie that is about 90 minutes, it's going to be quick, it's going to fly by because it's short, you're going to laugh maybe a couple times, not as much as I would, expect, would have appreciated a little bit more comedy. I guess I shouldn't say more funnier comedy, let's say that. There was some attempts, but it was just kind of like, like whatever. There wasn't too many things that actually made me like kind of laugh. So, would have appreciated a little bit more of that. Let's really just lean into what we're doing here. But overall, I mean, I thought it was for, like I said, you go in with that mindset, you can somewhat come out enjoying this movie. I'd give it like a 6.3, 6.4, something in that area. It's, let's not get ridiculous. It's nothing amazing. But you can go into this movie and come out with a little bit of enjoyment in it. And I feel like that's all you really want from this movie. Not every movie needs to be super detailed or a super thought out story. Sometimes you just want a stupid movie. And that's what this movie, to its credit, it tries to do. It's a short movie. It's a ridiculous concept. And they try to lean into it some. Would have appreciated them maybe leaning a little bit more, just to really kind of up it and to be one of those like all-time just stupid funny movies to watch every now and then. I expect this movie, when it hits streaming service, is going to have a great spike at like after midnight for people to turn that on, just something ridiculous to watch. But would have liked it really to lean into that a little bit to accept where it is. But yeah, I feel like that's mainly it. Like I said, acting was relatively surprised by the acting. Was pretty good for the most part. Really not too many scenes that you're like, this is trash. Like, what are we doing? Writing, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Wasn't expecting it to be super deep. Wasn't super deep. But yeah, probably my two main takeaways is I was surprised on how good the child actors were, or actor and actress were. They were actually, probably the funniest part of the movie. Probably, yeah, really any time that I actually like laughed a little bit was when it was those kids that were the ones delivering the lines. And the other thing, my takeaway, lean into it a little bit more. Let's go full into the deep end, full ridiculous stuff happening here. I feel like they kind of held back a little bit, even though it's an R-rated. There is some, not exactly graphic, but gory-ish type things that happen. you know, would have loved them to lean into that a little bit more in like terms of creativity of like some of the stuff that happens. But yeah, overall, Cocaine Bear, decent movie. Is it worth seeing in theaters? Maybe not. Probably will be on a streaming service somewhat soon. Probably can wait. But if you have seen it already, leave in the comments down below what you thought about it. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.